Do we have theme music?
You're live.
All right, we are live. Good stuff. Am I live on this screen or are we live on your screen?
You're live on that. Here,
Okay.
I gotta
Okay, good stuff. I have my confidence monitor because definitely need that level of confidence going into the stream. Jake, it's good to have you. This is a long way to stream, man. So it's been a while. I think a lot of the community's been asking, what's coming to Madden Ultimate Team, and I know we teased out at EA Play about the missions.
Yep.
And literally since last week, I think last Wednesday, I started capturing a lot of these images for the stream. And just one thing I want to kind of clarify is that a lot of these images are work in progress. I mean, teams were literally working here. I heard that Josh came in at 2:30 in the morning yesterday, and he's still here in the office working, trying to get those ratings up and some of the players. So huge shout out to Josh. I don't know how the guy's still awake.
Yeah, that's it. I'm almost not going to question how he's able to stay awake. But yeah, I mean, it's a good point and a good segue. Something I definitely want to kind of address early on huge shout out to the team, right? Both on the live content side as well as the Madden Ultimate team, the people actually building the tech and the features for us as well. Huge shout out to you guys. Kind of as you mentioned, kind of a blessing and a curse when you're in live content, right? Like some of these other guys are, quote unquote picture lock a few weeks ago. We get to go all the way to the last minute. So I know we're going to talk about it a little bit, but quite a few of us were at home this weekend playing, critiquing our own stuff, trying to get that last little bit of polish and feedback into the game to make sure that, when it's time for you guys to get your hands on it, that it's the best thing that we're able to put out.
What Mut level are you at right now?
I'm 25 right now.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you what Mut level I'm at. I'm at 21. I think Z-Fraw's man of the people. What level are you at, Z-Fraw? 17. So, no, that was actually really cool because we were all kind of grinding throughout the weekend, and I think it was like at 10 o'clock last night, Jake sends an email with 26 bullet points, like, hey, just things for us to kind of check into. To that point, I mean, the team is just constantly working and churning throughout the weekend to get this live content out to you guys. And the whole purpose of this stream is for us to really walk you through kind of what's there. And I think without further ado, we probably should just get into it because it's going to be a pretty long stream. So.
Lead us.
All right.
Post us away.
All right.
AJK.
So let's go ahead and talk about the introduction to Madden Ultimate Team. When you log in for the first time, you're going to get this screenshot for those people that pre-ordered. If you pre-ordered the Standard Edition, the Superstar Edition, or the Ultimate Superstar Edition. If you're kind of wondering what kind of Madden Ultimate Team content you get with each of those editions, we went ahead and put out a blog. I got, of course, the Ultimate Superstar Edition right here. You get 10 gold fantasy packs. And I actually think this screenshot might be wrong. We'll have to go ahead and double check on that one because I think the pre-order blog says something else. So we'll go ahead and double check on this. And like I said, all this stuff was taken ahead of time. But right here, you get this screenshot that says, hey, guess what? Your content is ready. You click on this and you're boom, right into Madden Ultimate Team. So we're going to walk you through all this stuff. And again, just a heads up, guys, these images were captured last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even some over the weekend and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and walk through high-level walkthrough through all the tabs that you're going to see in Madden Ultimate Team for the first time. So first up, we got Juju, the man himself. We got the missions tab. So we'll talk through the missions tab right here. Jake, what do I see?
Yeah, so I mean, what we call each of those on the left-hand side are different campaigns, and as you can see here, this is when it looks like looking in the top right. This is when you're at level 20 when you took this screenshot. So when you first come in the Ultimate Team, it's just going to be that Welcome to Ultimate Team campaign, and as you go through there are different missions. One of them is Juju wants you to play with his Ultimate Team, so you go in there. We do that lineup override for you. You get in there, a couple really quick experiences. And one of the things that players aren't not going to have to wait very long at all to get their hands on is that Play Next challenge button, right? So you're going to get in there. I believe the first one is just get 5 yards. We want to just get it off nice and easy for you. Just a single star. We haven't really introduced that concept of stars to the users at that point. So go through there, get your 5 yards. Boom, next challenge. Go score a touchdown. And then from there, you're kind of on your way. And as you can see here, you're going to start earning these, what we're calling ultimate trainers. These are a series of players that as you're playing through kind of what we internally call this new user flow is, some of these, there are 72 overalls, and you should start to accumulate a bunch of those, start to round out a little bit of that roster as you move on. Cool. I can totally see that I blew past this, so I appreciate it.
I'm not going fast enough. We're working through this. A lot of screens.
How many screens did you load into the system? Like over 100?
Got a couple hundred screens to go through here.
Okay.
It's Farrell's, been on the computer. Gibbs never lets me sit over here when he's in the building, but obviously it's a key moment, so he's left. I'm doing my best here, and we got a lot to show you. I feel like we're going to do a great job. That one there, though's on me, but let's get back to it.
All right, so like you were saying, you had the first objective, kind of, your first ultimate challenge. It says gain 5 yards, and just to recap what you were saying, you're going to be able to get these ultimate trainers, kind of round out that team, 72 overall. So you're here. Here's an example of one of them. What's next that we have up here, Farrells? Okay. All right. So this is the next tab, which is the play tab.
Got it.
Right. So what I did right here was I actually went ahead and marked in a red box just squads, because there's certain things, like as we walk through this, and you guys will see screenshots where I'm at level 1, where I was taking some of these pictures kind of like in a test environment, and then I was taking pictures on a prod environment. At level 1, squads was locked, right? So I'm assuming this year, kind of like last year, we're gating players entering certain modes, correct?
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit with how the locking happens. I think for squads, that's one that we're able to show here kind of on the main menu view. I think if you were to dive into each one of these at this particular moment and actually get to where, again, what we call the event level, all those would really kind of still be in that lock state. So again, at level 1, you really kind of are on rails to go into that Juju challenge and kind of get you going. And once you get to level 3, that's when we start to open up a little bit more of those, versus CPU experiences. I'm going to do my best to go the whole stream without saying the word solo. We'll see if I make it.
All right, let's see.
But I think it's by there you unlock a few of these as you go along. But I think in general, once you get to 10, all the modes have opened up for
That's
you,
awesome.
similar to last year.
Cool, and we'll call that out later as we walk through the Mut levels. But great point here. Just really wanted to highlight, you got your missions tab that's going to walk you through everything to kind of, it's actually very intuitive, and it's actually really nice to go through that step by step. I found it kind of a very nice user flow. And then on the play screen, a lot of these are locked until you kind of get those Mut levels to kind of gate you and walk you through where you need to go. Here's an example of the store. The store is back, of course, where you'll be able to go ahead and see your auctions and trades, unopened packs, get more packs. And then next,
shout out to the rooster, we call it, on the unopened packs on the previous screen.
Okay, you want to go back real quick here? So is it the little 0?
Yeah, a little 0 right there. You don't have anything right now, but when
Okay.
you do, something that might catch your eye and just like, oh,
Okay.
I forgot I had something in there.
There you go. So next, let's take a look at the team tab. So right here, you're able to adjust your lineup. You got your item binder, sets, settings. You can rename your team. Typical what's there. I went ahead, I just wanted to show the community my team right now. So we'll walk through some of those players real quick in the lineup. It's, a lot of this was just from grinding over the weekend. I got very lucky. I pulled an 83 Aaron Rodgers out of one of my packs, so I was pretty excited.
Let's go.
So, and then I got Tariq Cohen as well. I pulled a Brandon Cooks out of one of my packs as well, which was great, because he has that unique coin value, and I know there's some updates you probably want to give up on that, and we'll talk a little bit as we get further onto the stream. But here is my defense. Then we'll go to special teams. Now, one thing I noticed, like my team on special teams was already kind of preloaded with some player items. Like I had like a kicker and a punter and all that kind of stuff. Does that already come like ahead of time when you kind of log in for the first time?
Yeah. When you come in and we sort of like generate that starting, that base team for you in the background.
Okay, and then here's the specialist screen. With all these things, has anything changed from last year to this year on how we kind of architected some of these screens? Any positions removed? It's kind of a loaded question,
Yeah.
But I do know that there were some things, so we don't have to cover it all, but maybe you want to talk about maybe anything that comes to the top of your mind.
The only thing that really comes to mind is over on the right-hand side of the screen, and I think we're going to get into it a little bit later on, maybe towards the end of the stream when we talk about, the power-ups and how abilities work. And so, like, the main thing that we'll call out for you sort of probably later on in the stream is, you're going to need to be in the lineup screen to activate those players and actually take them into game. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but as far as, positions removed or any sort of big changes like that, and unless I'm forgetting something, there's nothing too noteworthy.
No, I wanted to bring it up because it just seemed very clean. Kind of, granted, it's brand new. I think also when you look at the far right-hand side, I think the way the menu structure has been laid out is a little bit different. So that's kind of what caught me off guard when I first saw it. But it was great because when I tab over, I'm able to see all that kind of stuff.
I would agree. I thought that it was very focused on your lineup, but then when you go over, it pops right out, and you're able to kind of see everything. So yeah, having the smaller icons, I was like, oh, because I know that they're always trying to simplify and make it easier for folks coming in. So that was something that definitely caught my eye. But once you go over there, everything comes right out, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh, I know where I am.
That's a good call. Yeah, it all shifts out once you bring the focus over there to the right. Even with things like generate best or change what active lineup you have, those are now specific button callouts over there on the right. Again, some things that our UX team felt was going to make the game more accessible, and we were excited to implement those changes.
That was cool because I noticed also like in team strategy and team visuals, there's like a little tooltip on the bottom that said these items are optional, these items are required. So kind of really helping players understand where do they need to get involved, where they need to get engaged to go ahead and update their lineup. So next up, what do we got on tap with us? EA Access.
Just reset the top of the show. We got some new folks coming in right now. This is a Madden Ultimate Team special. Agent K in the building. Jake Stein, busiest guy in the studio right now. His entire team. He took his time out tonight to give you the news, the info. EA Access 3 days away. We're about to talk about that right now. Let's get excited. Agent K, bring it up, son.
Why don't you talk about EA Access? I mean, you are definitely a lot more excited than I am, with that energy. So keep it going. You want to kind of give the breakdown on how EA Access works. This year I heard PlayStation is coming to the fold. We also have EA Origin Access Premier for our PC players. So talk about it, man. Talk about it.
I thought you would never ask
There
my
you go.
friend. EA
I'm gonna
Access,
get some water.
What is it? It's the opportunity to play on 725. Play it before anyone else. Never been on PlayStation before. They're always asking for it. It's here, 725. PlayStation, Xbox. Get ready to go. Also, along with that is the PC. You've got similar thing, Premiere going on PC, 725. That's the whole thing right there. Tremendous value. Really, really excited about EA Access. That does not include the special solos that I'm going to now mute my microphone and let you discuss.
All right, good stuff. So this year, it's kind of cool. When I started kind of playing some of these, started playing Madden Ultimate Team over the weekend,
Sure.
I logged in and I noticed that we had some EA Access solos that are only going to be available for a limited time. So for those players that actually do participate in EA Access, they get those 10 hours of player first trial. They're able to go ahead and complete these solos, and they're able to get some coins and whatnot. I think there's 10 solos total, and I think they come down on Monday, July 29th at 11:55 p.m. Eastern. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, Jake?
Yeah, just a really cool opportunity for everybody who was able to jump in during EA Access during that first that player first trial there. And yeah, so just going through there, 10 challenges, kind of get your feet wet with the stars. You get your opportunity to sort of play on the different difficulties. And each one of those are, just different conditions that you need to meet. And for that, you're going to get, I believe I was just taking a look at this beforehand. I think it's coins, a couple gold players, and I think there is a pack. I'm not going to say which pack it is, but there's definitely a pack in there as well for knocking out all those stars.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy, AGK. We actually have a banner underneath the stream tonight so that you can actually go down there and click if you're interested. We've got a link for Xbox users. We now have a link for PlayStation users. How exciting is that's going to be coming online? 725, but be ready. And then, of course, PC, we've got a link down there for that. So 3 links in the chat. Go click it. We need you. We need you to click it and get on in there for some 725 access.
The energy from Z Farls is pretty intense today.
I like the intensity. What I don't like is that people are just watching us.
I know they're watching us laugh at Z Farls while we're going.
We need Farls cam.
We need Farls cam. So I think that the goal this year for this stream, for Madden Daily Drops or whatever we're gonna call it, we need to get like a face cam over by the computer. So like every view in the office, even Gabby the Grander, we got to get a face cam now that she's a Madden ratings adjuster. All right, if you guys did not see that, Madden's rating adjuster was on E60 this weekend on ESPN. It was pretty cool. I don't know if you saw it.
I did. I was able to check it out. I was thankfully had a moment with the boys this weekend, and I saw Swami was like, "Hey, we're the next segment." And so I just went out there and turned on ESPN. That was really
cool.
Nice feature.
I think it's a really cool thing to kind of see things like that happen here in the studio. So all right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about Mut Levels. So what we're going to do through this, and again, everything's a work in progress. These images were taken again, last Wednesday, kind of going throughout the week, even over the weekend. We're going to walk you through some of these levels. We're going to talk about some of these things. So, one of the things I noticed, Jake, is that when I logged in and I was actually playing through just the challenges, the ultimate challenges, what's cool this year is that I can just go to the next one, right? So when I was actually done and I went back, I noticed that I had already unlocked, Mut level 5, and I kind of got all this type of content kind of coming to my console at that time. But then I went ahead and reset my account with Nick's help, and then we walked through each one of these. So, if you're a person that's playing this step by step, we're going to walk through this. So, a Mut level 2, you're going to go ahead and get a player right here. I went ahead, of course. I'm a Seahawks fan. We have the Seattle Seahawks right here. Next, at Mut level 3, we get a 2,000 coin quick sell, and then level 4, we get the level solos. Those are back this year.
Yep.
Level 5, we have a theme selector token. So before we go any further with the theme selector token, let's go to the next screen. Talk to me about the theme selector token and kind of how it's going to be used. We have a part where we're talking about theme builders and other stuff, but talk about this.
Yeah, so theme builders, it's going to be one of those those early pieces of content that players are going to be able to get themselves into. So as you see here at level 5, you get the what we're calling the theme selector token, as well as this tip. Well, why is there a token, and what does this all mean? Well, this collectible maps to 32 sets, right? Each set is for each individual team. So what this essentially is doing is you're choosing which one of the 32 teams you want to unlock and play through their theme builder challenges. And each of those are basically just like a sort of a rebuild of the regular season schedule that each one of those teams has. And cool. As you're playing through it, you're going to get team specific rewards by playing through that. There's also what we're calling a theme king at the end. So and are we just getting into this now? Are we diving in? Or
honestly, I think we're going to get to those images as well.
Okay.
But go with the flow of it. If you want to talk a little bit about it, we'll go back and reference those images. 'Cause I think it's just good to know up front, like, hey, okay. Because people are going to see this theme token and be like, what is this all about?
What is
so just kind of talk through that. We have images support it to kind of give you guys some more context. But yeah, go ahead.
So, for instance, spoilers, I took the Bucks. Ndamukong Suh is their theme king. So I was like, okay, we're going to get in here. So as I'm playing through there and playing through those, right, here we go. He's on point today. Love it. Love it. Stay home, kids.
I think
we got this.
There you go, exactly. I know he's watching.
So I'm going through and I'm playing through this Buck schedule, and I'm earning content that is Buck specific. My very first challenge in there, I got Ndamukong Suh's power up, for example. Right?
Got it. Okay.
And then as I continue going on, I'll continue getting more Bucks theme rewards. I'll eventually get to where I can get Ndamukong Suh's core elite, and then finally at the very last one, I can go ahead and get his theme king as well. So when it's all said and done, you can get all those players up to an 87. So
actually, and Faros, can we go back real quick? So one of the things too, I got to call this out. I thought it was kind of cool. Is like when you go into like this screen and you click on theme selector, it says add to sets. Sure. You can go ahead and add to sets. Sorry, that was a little savage move right there. So there, I picked the Seahawks. You can pick whichever team. Sorry guys, I had to throw that in the stream. I know a lot of you guys were talking about that last year. We kind of needed to call it out. Sorry, Jake.
That's okay.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. The next screen that we got right here is kind of like the theme builder. We have the sets. And so this is where we walk through, for example, you're going to get that theme token and take it away from right here.
Yeah, so this is where you're picking, which one of those teams you're looking to unlock. And so, a lot of this, I'm sure, is sounding like, well, Jake, does that mean that I can only do one of these? So initially, yes, but as you're playing through, what we're going to do is give you an additional theme selector token every 5 levels. So
cool.
At 5, 10, 15, as you go along, you'll end up being able to do a total of 10 of these teams on your own. So,
and could I call that out, just how I thought that was very important? A pro tip I always give every year is I believe the offensive and defensive playbooks you default to is your favorite team.
Right.
So, I always fake pick the Patriots as my favorite team so I can get their offensive and defensive playbooks because I think they always give me a good chance to win at the start. I got this token when I was playing the other day, and I'm like, man, I get one of these. I really need to pick it well because I don't know when I'm going to get my next playbook or I don't know when I'm going to get my next uniform. But then I got a couple more, and I was like, is this a trap? Did I do it wrong? But you were generous with the 5 levels, so I got one, like you said, every 5 or so. So don't feel restricted. We have some videos coming out from Game Changers with playbook recommendations. If you need playbook recommendations, hit up Mutt on Twitter for your play style. But overall, it was very good because I wasn't afraid. Well, I was afraid, but what you guys are really saying here, what I'm taking away now that I know how it works because I didn't read, is go in there and get what you need to get it going early. That would be my tip.
And I think the other thing too, just to call out Farrell's, I thought was really good, is that we're going to have. I've seen a lot of questions about videos regarding gameplay, regarding Mutt content. So, we had an event here in the studio, I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago. So the content they capture was even earlier than what I was able to capture. So again, their content is a work in progress. They'll be putting out those videos starting tomorrow, and I think there's a couple of community members that have content that go through all 32 theme builders, those individuals, and kind of like that process and everything like that, which is really cool. I don't kind of want to take that away from them in that regard, but we wanted to highlight the Bucks. We wanted to highlight the Seahawks because I'm a Seahawks fan, and also the Jets. Partly the Jets because Josh has been putting in some mad hours. He's like, I feel offended you didn't put the Jets in there, and I said I'm sorry.
If that was the reason, we should have left them off.
Well, I told him, I was like, I didn't know they were a team. And he even got more heated with me, and he's like, we got Le'Veon Bell, but you know what? That's okay, Josh. I know you're watching. I said that on purpose to get you frustrated. The Jets are a team, guys. They got a lot of promise. I got Le'Veon Bell. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how he plays. I got Sam Darnold out there, C.J. Mosley. I personally think they overpaid for C.J. Mosley. But enough of that. We're not going to talk about fantasy. We're not going to talk NFL.
I want this segment.
Hey, you know what? I'm listening to NFL Live, so all this is just regurgitation. All right, so let's go back and take a look at kind of some of the stuff in theme builders. We may have to go ahead and put the controller click.
I got somebody on it.
Oh no.
Yeah. She sees
Yeah. Sorry.
Saved by the Gabby. All right, good stuff. All right, good stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these other screens. We're going to walk through, and again, guys, we're taking our time. We're going to walk through all this, kind of give you guys some context. Here we go at Mut Level 6. You're going to go ahead and get some series trophies.
That's a different one. That's probably one worth pausing on for
let's go ahead and talk
for
about
a moment.
that. Yeah, so at Mut Level 6, you're going to go ahead and unlock series trophies. And I noticed that series trophies are actually a currency this year.
That's right. Yeah, they are something that you're going to see in your top user bar. So it's something that we decided to take away event tickets this year. So that's not a thing for us anymore. For things like ranked draft and for salary cap, they're going to be coin entry based. So no more event tickets. Sort of cut out the middleman. Just go straight with that. And so what that did was it opened up a spot for us in the top user bar to bring these series trophies as a currency versus all these collectibles that you're adding up. And what we did was we kind of paired that with some of the things that people may have saw last year in Mut 19, which was have a specific place in the store that was dedicated for that currency. So we could talk a little bit more about that towards the latter part of the stream. I'm sure we have something kind of
we may even have an
out.
image here. And what I did was I put I think it was at level 6 the solo battles unlocked. So I kind of put that screen there as well. But series trophies, here they are. You'll be able to get these as you kind of go through it. And there's actually a series progression, which we'll talk about that later in the stream.
Nice.
All right, level 7, we're going to unlock some new level solos. What's really cool about these level solos, though, is that you get these stars. And what I noticed over the weekend was I'm chasing after these stars, and it was starting to get a little frustrating because some of the conditions to get the bonus stars were either a little too challenging with my team at first, but then once I updated my team, I was good to go. So you're going to get some new level solos. Do these, get those stars. Those stars are really important to kind of get those rewards as you kind of level up and you unlock. What's next we got here? Level 8, you're going to get a gold plus player. I think this is the pack where I actually ended up getting Aaron Rodgers. Next we have level 9, which you're going to get 50 training quick sell. So quick sells are back. And then next up we have, I think, Mut level 10. And right here is kind of like you were talking about, every 5 levels you get that theme selector token,
right.
But we also have power-up passes, and they're back. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, they're back. Something that was I think pretty well received last year. The one difference here was we just sort of made a giant one for the bottom end. So anything that sort of like if we have content being built a few months from now where this would make sense, we just kind of wanted a big catch-all here. So that's really the only main call out here. We're definitely super excited to get those power-up passes back and bringing those back into the fold. I see a hand raised.
Pro tip. I know one area folks would lose their power-up pass. So they'd pop it in and they'd forget where they put it, then they'd have to look through to find it. So you play Ultimate Team, maybe you want to have a little scratch pad next to you, maybe make a little note of where you drop it. It'll be a lot easier to find it, and that could help you out. These aren't ones obviously not being quite as these ones will have more range of where they could have gone. So just keep an eye on it. Little pro tip.
Something that we definitely heard the
yes.
feedback on last year. There's no improvements in terms of accessibility for users at the launch of this year. It is something that we definitely have flagged though, and we've definitely heard that feedback on when I'm in there, is there a way for me to be able to kind of remember? It's definitely easy to forget where that is. So maybe something for later on in the year.
Yeah, so I know all this feedback is definitely listened to by you guys, and it's categorized, and we have to prioritize those things to kind of get those things out there. I know Superstar X Factors was a huge thing this year, and those X Factor abilities, Superstar abilities, to kind of make sure that we had it working properly in game. So I think a bulk of the focus and attention was to get that there. And we'll have a little more talk about that kind of further into the stream. So let's go ahead and talk up next. What do we have right here? So I'm at hit level 10, and of course the squads, the unlock goes away. At level 11, this is, I don't know if Farrell's going to sign in for a pro tip right here, because I missed this one. So we'll go back to this other image real quick here, Farrell. So on this one, at Mutt level 11, one thing that you guys want to make sure is that when you're going through this progression and you get into the stores, make sure you pay attention for those exclusive offers. Some of them you can get with coins, some of them are with points. But this is just something that you really need to pay attention to. I kind of skipped right over this until I got to level 16. Just something to really, I felt like I needed to call out on stream so that people don't, lose this opportunity to kind of upgrade their team and get better player items. Next up, right here at Mutt level 11. Now, one thing I do want to highlight again, a lot of stuff was captured. A lot of conversation is going on with the team to figure out where's the proper placement where we unlock things in the various Mutt levels. So you may see Mutt level here 11, but on 725 may not be there. So we're trying to work through all those details. I know Jake's team is working through it, but we're going to talk about team captains. So you're going to unlock a team captain. You're going to be able to choose one of four. That you're going to start at the beginning of the game. Do you want to talk a little bit about team captains? I have the players written down here, but we have one that we were able to showcase with his ratings. The other three were actually still being worked on when we started the stream.
Yeah, so bringing those team captains back again, that's something that we found a lot of success with last year. Players really enjoyed these, loved the ability to have that choice there with who you wanted to elect as that captain. So it'll be very similar to last year, where the initial upgrade for these players will be through training, and then as some of these bigger beats come throughout the year, there'll be other opportunities to get captain tokens to continue upgrading that specific player as the year goes on. So yeah, you mentioned that we have 4 guys. We have one of them captured for you here. So Herman Moore, one of the captains. The other 3, excuse me, Dallas Clark, Ty Law, and Ryan Shazier. So Shazier is back in Ultimate Team this year, and we're definitely pumped to bring him back in here and continue to want to have him in sort of this place where players felt like they could just go play and earn him and build him up. So definitely pumped for that. The one thing that we were talking a little bit before the stream that we wanted to call out was when it comes to the captains last year, when it was towards, I think it was around the December time period, I might be a little bit off, but we went ahead and we started to make other versions of like Jerry Rice or, Ray Lewis. So, because you can only have one of them on your team, we wanted to still like, okay, well, if you wanted that one, we're going to have other versions that are not going to be as good as the captains, but, I just want Jerry Rice on my team. I want to have an opportunity. And so we felt like that was the way to deliver that. I feel like it makes sense for us to sort of announce right now that we will not be treating Ryan Shazier that way. So in terms of playing with Shazier in Ultimate Team in Madden 20, it will only be through team captains. So the other 3, I do think we'll see probably a similar execution where you see those players getting new versions of themselves later in the year. But just wanted to call that out now. We're not going to do that with Shazier.
That's cool. So I think for those players out there, that are kind of getting that team captain, choose wisely. Kind of think through who you want to go ahead and pick. I ended up picking Ty Law because I needed some corners, but if I would have known that information, which would have been great, I probably would have picked Shazier.
And we'll still have that option for you to choose,
cool.
to update, right?
Cool.
That exchange set is coming back this year.
Cool, very
so
cool.
you'll still have that opportunity.
That's awesome. Because I'll probably go back and get Ryan Shazier just because I want to have him on the squad. Who did you pick, Farrells?
Pro tip. I could not resist the route running of Dallas Clark. I thought at the tight end position that route running is always very challenging to get. You can always get a speed guy. You can always get a blocking guy. So I saw Dallas Clark. I had to go there. I used Shazier a ton last year. He was amazing. Jake did not tell me that prior to selecting, so I will probably also end up being a Shazier guy. But Dallas Clark, do not sleep on the route running if it's something that you need at that position, especially with how good the pass rush is. Really was a big fan.
Great stuff. Well, thanks for that little bit of tidbit of information. It's good to know. So team captains, we talked about that. Mutt level 12 gold player pack right here. And then next up, what do we got? I think we have another. Okay, so we got the Mutt level. So these were just some screens that I took. This is a level up pack. I think I took this one. That was, I think, level 15. And then right here, this is another level up pack. The one thing I wanted to highlight through all of this is that there are Mutt levels. And through the Mutt levels, you're going to go ahead and engage the Mutt level master, Torrey Holt. So we have his image, the first one you get to the left, and then his final that you'll be able to get at level 50, as my understanding right here. Do you want to talk a little bit about this and kind of how that process works?
Yeah, so I mean, for starters, especially if you've been with us for the last few years, you've noticed that this is not a halfback this year. So we were definitely excited to kind of take this in a new direction this year and bring wide receiver to this position as the level up master. So I think that's probably the first thing to call out. The other thing I would say that comes to mind is this is not something that in years past, you've gotten an upgrade token at every single level.
Okay, that's good to know.
So now what we've done is, again, and I've already forgotten the cadence. I can't remember if it's every 3 or every 5. You're going to get more of these the level master tokens and upgrade them, and there are going to be more significant jumps between upgrades. So it's not going to be sort of what you saw with Ricky last year, where you're starting to get tokens that give you just a couple of attribute boosts. It's going to be a little bit more meaningful updates when you get those guys.
No, that's good. So we just kind of want to give that information to you guys right there. I think next up, we're going to talk about Ultimate Trainers. I think, Z Farles, you may have some images right here for us to go ahead and take a look at. Are you in? All right. Good stuff. So Ultimate Trainers is part of that Assemble Your Team. We saw this earlier on. So we're going to go ahead, and when you go in there, you'll see like the milestones. Before we move forward, no, actually, you can go forward. The milestone rewards. You want to talk a little bit about that, because it was just something I didn't mention at the beginning of the stream. Sure. But I think milestones are really important. It's that star path that I was talking about. Yep. You want to talk about milestones?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm sure a lot of people are probably hearing this for the first time. We have talked about this a couple of times this year, but essentially, when we built Ultimate Challenges, there were a couple of different things that we were able to do. One of them was have it so that you weren't forced to play things in order. Like there are still cases where we do that, but that's not all the time. And one of the big reasons is because in Ultimate Challenges, you can play by yourself, or you can invite a friend or two and play and knock all these out together. And so when we were going through the design and figuring out, okay, well, these are some great things to bring to the player. How are the rewards going to work? What if you just get to the last challenge and invite me? And now do I get the best reward that has normally in the past been gated as the last solo? That's where the idea of milestones came in. So now it's more of this concept of accumulating those stars in a specific category. And as you're doing that, you're starting to unlock these milestone rewards. So, you'll kind of see when you're playing through the challenge, you'll see, well, here's my 1 star, here's my 2 star, here's my 3 star. And if there's any bonus, here's what is very unique to that specific Ultimate Challenge. But on top of that, you're also building progress towards these milestones and getting some of the other, kind of significant rewards that are going to be associated with that particular category.
Yeah, I think like right here, there's an Ultimate Team uniform, home and away. Pretty awesome to kind of get that when I was going through and I got the 24 star through that system.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, do you want to play, 8 challenges at 3 stars, or you want to play 12 of them at 2 stars and come back and get those 3 stars later on? It was definitely that, hey, we want to offer unique challenges that, in the past, maybe we want to hold back on because it's a hard lock. If we build something that a lot of players can't get past, it's just a hard stop, and they might just be done with the content altogether. And so this kind of gives that flexibility of, and I found myself doing this a lot. This past weekend I was playing things intentionally on 2 stars to stay on arcade for now, rather than jumping up to competitive and knowing like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back and knock these out later. But for right now, I'm not about that life. I'm trying to get to 25.
I did the 3 stars, and for lack of better words, I was getting pissed.
There are better words.
I had some moments. I'm grateful that I had an Elite controller in front of me, because if it was a plastic one, I think I would have broke. But that's because my team wasn't that great.
Cooler heads prevailed.
Yes, cooler heads prevailed. I think my wife would have appreciated it. So Ultimate Trainers, when you go in it for the first time, there's one set that's visible, but I think as you progress through the Ultimate Trainers, you're going to go ahead and see another set. I took a picture of this. This is one of those pictures where there was a revision over the weekend.
Yep.
So talk to me about Ultimate Trainers Trade-In, and talk to me about the Ultimate Trainers Master, the 85 overall Master.
So you'll see an experience part of a mission earlier on where you go in and you're going to take a collectible and get, I believe it's Marshawn Lattimore. So it's kind of a way of bringing you in and letting you know, like, well, how do I complete sets? Again, we're still in kind of that new early onboarding piece, so we're trying to get players familiar with where to go and how things work. So that's kind of that first one that you mentioned. As you progress through the rest of this particular campaign, you're accumulating all these different Ultimate Trainer tokens. And so ultimately at the end, when you've collected all of them, you're going to have the choice to come and select one of these 5 85s that you see on the screen right now. So you mentioned the change that we talked about over the weekend. Initially it was those collectibles plus all the 72s that you'd already been earning. And I was kind of like, you know what, I'm still finding myself using these guys. They're still in my lineup. Is there a way where we can make it work where we don't have to include those guys in the set as well? So we're going in this direction, and I see a hand raise.
So Farrell's over here on the computer. No big deal. Gibbs not here. I get to keep my 72s.
72 stay with you.
You do, yeah.
That's exciting because I was collecting a lot of them. I'm like, something's up. They're just giving me some pretty, like, early in those solos, man. When your team's only 72, and Todd in there, like, it was working for me.
Yeah. And that's what kind of what the feedback was. Not just for me. I think some other guys felt the same when we were playing through it. And so you're still going to have that opportunity to. It sounds like what we're going to do is at level 30 have a set where you like, okay, well, if you feel like you have gotten to that point where, all right, I'm done with these 72s, get them out of my item binder. Cool, here's a set for you. We're going to give you some coins for exchanging those out. But we wanted to kind of push that a little bit later on into the experience.
That's great. I mean, I think because when you start out, you have a very low overall team. It kind of helps you kind of round out that team. Players that we see here are Juju Smith. We got Marshawn Lattimore, Tyron, Greg Olson, Matt Ryan. So we wanted to show you guys some of their ratings that you'll see right here. They are 85 overalls. They are NAT. So just a heads up there. Make sure that you choose wisely which player item you're going to
choose wisely, but when it comes to power-ups, it'll work a little bit like last year's campaign. You're not going to be blocked on progress from any of those guys. We are intentionally designing the content so that you can choose one of them. So later on, if you do find yourself in a Marshawn Lattimore power-up and you're like, well, I took Matt Ryan instead, you're still going to have the option to use training to bypass that instead. So you're not blocked there, but it's definitely an opportunity to go ahead and give your team a shot in the arm with one of those 85s.
That's cool. It's kind of like the theme builder progression, where you only can you can grind through 10 of them, but you're not blocked in getting all those other player items. You can use training, or you can have used that theme builder that you went ahead and had. So so that's that on Ultimate Trainers.
Tell about Origin Access.
All right, so right up here. So for those people that are new on PC, EA Origin Access. I want to highlight right here. It's starting July 25th. Make sure to go ahead and read the information. The teams, at the end of the day, to be honest with you, everything starts on July 25th. Maybe it might come early. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, we want our players to go ahead and play, Madden and Madden Ultimate Team and franchise. But one thing you got to keep in mind is, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that everything that goes out is just solid, so that our players don't have any issues. If you're on EA Access PS4, right now you can go ahead and sign up for it on PS4. I think there's like a website you can go to. I want to say it's EA-Access.
Click the link below. There's a link below.
There you go. Click
Very
the link
easy.
below. I'm
PC,
trying to remember the URL
PS4.
because on Twitter I was getting so many questions about EA Access. I'm like, click, copy, paste, kind of thing. But hey, you know what? You don't need me to copy and paste. You can go down below and you can go ahead and click on that link. PS4 and Xbox. Yeah, there you go. Someone created an EA Access command.
I would say even if you already have it, click the link anyway, because why not? Like, it'll give you something to do. Do it.
If you're bored, spam MBD or click the link. All that kind of stuff. So great stuff. So we talked about we've talked about introduction to Mutt, EA Access, Mut Levels. We've talked about Ultimate Trainers. Now let's talk about Mutt dedication. So Mut Dedication is kind of like that place where you kind of complete the daily, weekly, and monthly missions. Let's walk through some of these screens that we have right here. We're going to talk about probably each of these sections. So, Charles, take us through. And Jake, I'll let you kind of talk through this.
Perfect. So with daily missions this year, one of the things that stands out for us is we removed the complete a set sort of objective that was tied to that. So it's just so play those 2 games, go rip a pack, go take that 500, get a player pack, and you've fulfilled your daily requirement for that this year. A lot of very similar things that you've seen from years past, where there are, as you progress in Mut level, some of those rewards that you get there, either the floor raises or the ceiling goes up a little bit. So the rewards, have a chance to get a little bit better as you progress that Mut level. With weekly missions, this is something that will probably not come out this week, and very likely should be there next week, I believe. So this is another one of those where a mix of like, hey, just go play the game, accumulate some stats, but also kind of like get into some of the different modes that we're offering. So as you can see here, there's battle score if you want to go and check out solo battles, if you want to go play in weekend league, if you're looking to play head-to-head seasons. Those are all things that can earn you progress towards here, and not doing all of these, but just doing, I believe it's going to be 5 of the 8. Hopefully I'm not getting these numbers too far off. That's sort of like the trigger point. That's what you're looking to hit each week to get an additional reward.
Okay. Next up, we have the daily engagement milestone.
So this one's cool. This is one that we've been floating around for the last couple years, and was sort of able to do. This is sort of like one of those where if you don't do it at the start of the year, you're not doing it. So this was exciting to get in. So this is just saying, back to those daily missions, go make sure you're completing, as many of those as possible. So not only for that daily reward, but there's also this other piece that's working kind of like in parallel with you. And as you hit different thresholds of how many of those daily daily objectives that you have completed, there's some additional rewards in there as well. I think off the top of my head, there's things like additional power-up passes, and
there was one crazy. I went all the way.
Was there
a
crazy one in there?
Oh no! I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was complete 300 daily missions. It was like a 99 overall power-up pass. But again, we don't have the image, so it's not real. So at the end of the day, and that's my fault because just a lot of images to capture. But I went through, and as you go, as you complete your daily stuff, what was really cool, I found that as a way to reward loyalty to our players for logging in every single day outside of just doing, win 1 game, win 2 games, purchase a pack. This kind of gives them other stuff along the way for really just rewarding players for logging in every single day. So,
absolutely.
What do we got next? We got Mut Master. So let's talk a little bit about Mut Master. Take it away, Jake.
Mut Master this year. I guess we'll just go ahead and talk about who is Mut Master this year. We couldn't be any more honored and privileged to be able to bring him back into the fold. But yeah, Pat Tillman, as you can see there on the screen, super excited that we were able to bring him back in here. That's something that we've definitely heard our fans kind of ask about. And kind of hey, when's he able to make his return? Well, this is the year. Awesome. And couldn't be any more excited. This year being the NFL 100 as well. There's a lot of things that I think made sense, and we were, like I said, just super honored and privileged and excited for Mut Master. I think that's going to be something that a lot of the people who are in the chat are probably pretty excited about. So really, I'm kind of repeating myself, but super excited to bring him in here. I'm just gonna. Yeah.
No, it's really good. I think one of the things that our players don't see and the community doesn't see is there's a lot of conversations going on behind the scenes when it comes down to Legends, acquiring their rights, and talking with the players. There's just a lot, and I think there was multiple times back and forth where it's like 1 minute, probably not going to happen, the next minute's going to happen, and it's just being involved in the process this year, because we'll talk a little bit. I know we talked about theme builders. Yeah. And there was another legend caveat through that. We can talk about it now if you want, or we can talk about it.
We'll come back after Master.
Yeah, so I think that's actually kind of a good thing. So, let's talk about Mut Master. So there you have it. We don't have it. His ratings are not final. The ratings are being finalized right now. So we'll make sure to follow at EA Sports _Mut. They'll make sure to go ahead and share all that information with you guys. Should be available by EA Access 725. If you want to learn more, click on the link down below. There you go, Farles. There you go, Farles.
If Josh was in at 1 a.m. today, maybe,
we would have had it.
Maybe we would have had it.
We would have had it, Josh, if you would have been here at 1, Josh. If you would have been here at 1.
I would have given him like a second Jets reveal if that was the case. But I digress a little. So, in terms of Mutt Master itself, of how are you going to acquire him and build him up and all that, very similar to last year. Cool. That was one of those things where we were really excited to bring that element of choice, whether you ultimately were somebody who wanted to engage in those ultimate challenges or, hey, I'm more of an online guy. I don't even mess with those with those ultimate challenges. Given that option, that is something that we brought back into the fold again this year. So super pumped about that. And then there's sort of this dedicated mission that will kind of update you on that progress as you're building him up. The one thing I guess I would call out when we went back and wanted to sort of rebalance some of the requirements, the big one, because again, like I was in it last year too, and it was the last thing that I did, were the passing yards. So the passing yards have been lowered. I think some of maybe even the passing touchdowns were lowered. There's a couple things that we lowered. There's a couple things that we raised, like tackles. We threw a big number at like 2,500 at it last year. It was still way too early. I played this past week, and I think I'm at 460 tackles already. So that one got raised a little bit. There's a couple other ones that were when we just went back and took a look at, like, was this something that we found players, hitting pretty easily, or something that they were struggling towards, and really try to make some adjustments there. So beyond that, that's probably the big thing to say there about Mutt Master.
It's good. It's good. So career stats, kind of like, you're going to be tracking through these stats over the course of your Mutt career. And can you kind of walk through maybe like the rewards that you gain per achievement, like high level? I don't know if everything has been kind of fleshed out yet, but just if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I think primarily these are mostly coin-based rewards. This was, we brought it in last year. It was to accomplish 2 goals. One was, people love to know what they've done in the mode, right? So having a place where they can go to and sort of have as bragging rights amongst their friends was something that, even if it was just that, thought would have been worth having this in here and having a place dedicated to that. The other thing that we do, though, is we do have different thresholds for each one of these where you can earn some additional coins. So it's not only about those bragging rights and playing, sort of what you mentioned a little bit earlier. We want to reward that long-term retention, that long-term play and engagement with the mode. And so those are sort of those extra, thank yous along the way for engaging.
That's awesome. So next up, we got theme builders. We talked a little bit about that before, but kind of elaborated. We're going to walk through this to give some of those screenshots. Right here, again, you're getting that theme selector. You get one at level 5, and then every 5 levels you get another one. One thing to note is that you can go ahead and get up to 10. Right here, you're able to go ahead and pick your team straight from the token screen, but you can also go into the sets. You'll see right here where there's theme builders. Once you click on this, you go ahead and pick your team. Once you pick your team, you'll go ahead and add it. You'll add that theme selector token to the set. You'll be able to go ahead and get like your team items, which I thought was really cool. I got my Pete Carroll, I got my Seahawks Stadium, I got my offense, I also got my jerseys, which was awesome. And then next up, what do we have? So here is the theme builders solo sequence, right?
This is the mission specifically.
Yeah. So here's the mission. So let's go and walk through this, Jake, if you want to take a step by step.
Yeah. So I mean, going back, like, why did we want to go and build a feature like missions? Well, it was so that we can, Mutt is this complex mode, right? And especially if you're somebody that's fairly new to it, you're still trying to figure out, exactly what's going on. And missions is hopefully going to be a tool for us where we're able to sort of teach players along the way. So as you can see here, just getting into this one is, not too bad. It's pretty straightforward.
Pretty simple.
So you're earning your theme selector token. Again, you get those just by leveling up. You're going to get one at 5. That second step was taking you to the set, so you can go and choose which team you want to go to. And then that last one is like, well, let's go get them, right? Yeah. So that's going to take you directly into, again, in your case, the Seahawks sequence. And now you can just go and engage with this guy and start making progress on it.
It's awesome. And for those people that didn't see it earlier and you're watching it now, here are the stats for Ndamukong Suh, C.J. Mosley, and Russell Wilson. There will be, there'll be some videos coming out from Game Changers, also content creators that will kind of walk through who the rest of the theme builders are. I also think that there'll be some more information on ratings and other stuff like that we'll talk about later on in the stream.
Perfect.
So, all right. So that's theme builders. Do you want to talk about that other thing?
Yeah, we talked a little bit before the stream, right? So first off, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for even giving us this opportunity to talk and engage with the fans. And this one was really kind of focused on like, well, what's the experience that I should expect to see on day one? But I was like, you know what? I'd actually like to take a few moments to talk about something that's not going to be there on day one. And that was, we're going to call it Team Diamonds last year. So Team Diamonds from a year ago. Team Diamonds will be what it's called this year. That's something that is not available at launch when you get to the game. And you kind of hit on it a little bit ago when it comes to actually, I'm going to hold off on that one for just a second. I'll come back to that. So one of the things that we heard about last year was, when doing those Team Diamond sets was, for, the Falcons, and it was like, well, okay, you're asking me to put in this Julio Jones to get a Julio Jones, and now I want to power him up, so now I need that Julio Jones back to get back. So definitely a lot of valid feedback there. So one of the things that we had talked about internally and wanted to figure out, there's a couple of different ways that we could go here, but what would be cool was ultimately we landed on, well, what if we went out and found some guys that were more like fan favorites, right? Maybe not somebody that is like a legend in the sense of what, Ultimate Team is sort of kind of unofficially said constitutes as a legend, right? But who are some guys that really make a lot of sense for that team? Who's somebody that's going to get fans of that team super excited? And this was an easy one for me, being a Bucs fan. When I sort of try to think about it in that lens, it was like, oh, well, Joe Jurevicius is my guy, right? Like, this is somebody that, was on that Super Bowl run team in 2002, made that incredible. He had one catch in the NFC Championship game, but it was a big one. Really got the Bucs up and rolling, and he was doing all that with.
The only one that mattered.
He was doing all that with a very sick premature child who unfortunately didn't even get to make it. So it was incredible that he even played in that game. And so for me, it was like a no-brainer. Well, like, Joe Jurevicius is my guy. That's somebody that I'd love to see as a type of reward for this. And so we really, started to blast out emails to, every fans on the team, some people externally saying like, okay, like who sort of like meets this criteria for you, and start to put a list together. And you have to do a lot of juggling in terms of, making sure that you have like some positional balance and things like that. So I give all that context just to say that we have a few guys that we still need to get done, right? So we felt like going with that approach was worth it. When we've been able to talk about that with some of the people who've come in early to take on captures or give us feedback, it was probably one of the things that they enjoyed the most was hearing what the plan was here. And so we felt like, rather than doing something where, well, let's only release half of them, or, hey, you know what, let's use these guys in a different, let's just wait. We think that we have, we're pretty close on the remaining guys. And so right now we're targeting around the middle of August, to go and release those. But, that was something that I, kind of felt was important to address. That's, wanted to try to be as player first as possible.
No, I think it's great. I think it's a lot of great feedback that you guys have listened to, and rather just have it all out there. I think the cool part about all this is that, you guys are trying to get players that are just not your usual.
Right,
players. And I remember Jake sent, so I see this a lot on social media, like, well, why do you guys, use the same legends, and a lot of that's because we do have their rights, but it also is a pretty extensive process to go ahead and find new players. And then Jake sent out an email to me, to Gabby, to Farrells, and people even outside the studio of like, hey, give me your top 10 to 15 people that you think are best in their positions. And it's a pretty extensive process. We all kind of give that information to Jake, and then it was on him and his team to kind of figure out that balance. So it's just cool to kind of be a part of that process this year. I know we've done it in the years past and trying to get the main legends, but this is really cool to try to get 32 Team Diamonds. So pretty great stuff there. Cool. So let's go ahead and talk about NFL Epics. So NFL Epics, we have one screenshot of one player and his ratings, but we also have just a screenshot of another player. Jake's going to kind of walk through what NFL Epics is, the program, and what you can kind of expect. We have very few images to kind of share on this one, but we'll walk through it. So right here, NFL Epics, it's one of these solos. Sorry, these ultimate challenges.
You failed.
Man, dang it,
You
dude.
failed.
I
think I'm still good.
I know, these ultimate challenges that you can unlock. So NFL Epics, when can you expect to unlock this?
Very early.
Okay.
I think it's at 3 right now. So it's one of those where if you want to keep going down the path of those Ultimate Trainers, absolutely keep going. It's a great place to keep learning about what the mode is, how to get involved. You're going to learn about things like stars, sets, all that good stuff, right? Still a great place to go. But also early on, we're going to offer up these NFL epics. And so, what these are sort of, we took Baker Mayfield and Deacon Jones, and we went and created some challenges that were exclusively to them. It's a lot of their career highlights, which is funny when one of them has only played 1 year. So I get that, insert the joke there. But in that 1 year, Baker was able to do a lot and really, kind of came onto the scene and became a force immediately on, Josh's Jets on Thursday Night Football. Shout out Josh. Come here at midnight next time. Such a savage. So what's great about these is when you go in and play through those, they're all challenges that are dedicated to specific moments in their career. And we go and we give you the Baker Mayfield for those challenges. We give you the Deacon Jones for his challenges. And you can just go and rip through those. And as you're playing through those, again, you're getting used to that star system, racking those up. And then through that milestone reward system, that's when you're going to actually, get the Baker, get the Deacon Jones later on. The funny thing that always I get reminded about with Deacon Jones was, he was playing before sack was actually an official stat. Yeah. So, we have some of those challenges in there called like tackle the quarterback, because that's kind of what it was. They didn't have a word at the time. So some cool stuff there where you get to go and relive some of those moments. A lot of great art in there, kind of with the new style that we were able to design the Ultimate Challenges with. So it's another really good opportunity for players to get in there and, quickly, again, give another shot in the arm to their team.
Yep, and so we have Baker Mayfield right here. These are his stats for those people that kind of want to check it out. So Deacon Jones, we'll have that for you guys by 7:25. Josh is still working through a lot of those ratings, and we'll talk a little bit through the rest of that. What's up, Farls?
It's 7:57.
Oh, man, 7:57.
Oh, you mean the date 7:25? Like when EA Access is available? Is that what you're referencing at this moment?
7:57. My watch said stand. So, it's so EA Access, guys. Click the link down below if you want to go ahead and get 10 hours of player first trial early.
Even if you don't want it, click it. Click it, click it, click it. Hey. EA Access. First time ever on PS4. You know how many people said, hey, when is EA Access going to come to
really
PS4?
Cool
Lots
that
of people,
on PS4. That part is really, really cool. I know for like the last couple of years, saw a lot of PS4 players out there saying, this is not cool that I can't play the game a little bit early. So great opportunity for them. Definitely engage with that. So you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about series progression. So series progression is next. We talked about, when you unlock that Mut level, you got like 10 series trophies. Let's walk through series progression, some of the stuff through that process that allows you to go ahead and get series trophies. So first up, let's go ahead and take a look at these screens if you want to walk us through this, Jake.
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
Hey, there you go, reference right there. There is Mut level. Mut level series. So these were the ones that were available on prod this morning. So so series progression, Mut level, and then series 1 multiplayer wins.
So with the Mut level 1, the really cool thing there is it's sort of it's a mission that gives you sort of a window into everything that's coming. So you can kind of go down here and there's art associated with each one of these levels that kind of lets you know, like here's what I'm playing for. Here's what I'm looking to unlock at each of those. So that's another kind of really cool thing that quite frankly wasn't there last year. I can even remember myself going to different sites being like, well, what's happening? At what point do I get that power pass? I don't even remember. And then the second one was just the series 1 multiplayer wins. Similar to what we did last year, where you're getting some additional rewards, in this case being the series trophies, for earning those online victories during that specific series.
Yep. And you'll see right here in the upper right-hand corner, trophies is kind of listed as a currency. So we got that image kind of taken right there for you guys. And win 200 online wins. You're looking at earning like 120 Series 1 trophies. So there's a lot there. And again, that's don't worry, it's my tablet. My tablet was showing my task list. My tablet was showing me my task list of all the things I still need to get done. For
Throwback. That noise made me think that the camera battery was dying. Shout out to the first stream where the camera battery was like that was show 24 and it was about to end the whole stream, but that wasn't it. Thank you.
Good to know. I'll make sure to go ahead and set my reminders for 10:45 a.m. when we do the stream, so just to kind of give you like a little mild cardiac arrest. All right. Trust me, if there's anyone that knows about cardiac arrest, it's me. All right, moving on.
It's too real for me.
Dad joke. Okay.
Too real for me.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about. Let's take a look at this real quick. Boom. So series trophies. Took some pictures of the store, so you'll see right here that with the series trophies, you're able to go in the store and actually purchase items there using your series trophies. I don't know if you want to talk about this. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but love Jake Collar commentary.
Yeah, no, definitely a little self-explanatory, but again, wanting to give players a little bit more of that choice. The feedback that I always want to improve on when I hear about it was like, I don't feel like me being an online competitive player is really worth it for me. And so this is another attempt for these series trophies to build out this sort of loadout where you get to make some choices now when it comes to what you want to use that currency on. And this is something that you'll see some updates to as the year goes on, right? That's not something that's going to stay stagnant. One of the big ones that Carl's just totally let out of the bag is we've done series masters in the past, but I think this year we're taking it a step further and being a little bit more aggressive when it comes to the OVR. So as you can see here right now, we are targeting Von Miller to be our Series 1 master at 91 overall. And there's a couple of cool things to call out here. So one is we feel like Weekend League is going to be the main place where you're going to want to go get this your Series 1 trophies. There's still those other places. There's still head-to-head seasons. There's still squad seasons. And if you are playing that consistently, you're going to obviously rack up some additional trophies there as well. But in terms of trophies per hour, if you want to call it something like that, we feel like Weekend League is going to be a really prime spot for you to go and earn those. And so tying that to, again, with such an aggressive OVR for what's coming out there right now, because we're probably looking at like the highest core elite, mini spoilers, is an 88. So having a 91 as the series master feels pretty strong, right? He's only going to be available during that series. After that is out, he's going to get dropped in the packs.
Okay.
So if you are an online player and you are just crushing it, this is going to be somebody that is probably going to go for a good chunk of coins on the auction house. I can talk a little, I promise. So
it's only been an hour.
So we feel like that's something that's going to be pretty cool. One other thing that I don't think we have any capture on is Coach Madden. So Coach Madden's coming back this year. Couple of different things that we're going to try to do this year when it comes to Coach Madden. Excuse me. The first one is just obtaining Coach Madden is going to be fairly easy. We felt that was important for a lot of players who just are looking to get Coach Madden and equip them and have Coach Madden be part of their team, right? You're buying a Madden game, right? That feels like it makes sense. The other piece will still work similar to last year, where you're looking to go get more of those sort of like Coach Madden upgrade trophies. And so the call out there is you're only going to be able to do the allotment that is worth, kind of in that series. So
Got it.
Last year, I believe Tier 1 and Tier 2 were both training. This year, they're going to be for that collectible. So you're going to have the opportunity to get up to 3 of those collectibles in Series 1. And as series continue to go on, we'll just add an additional one that you can go get. So if it's at 3 and you didn't do any that series and Series 2 comes around, you'd have the opportunity to get 4 of those. So you always kind of have that opportunity to work backwards. It's going to just be the same collectible that you can go in and use that competitive currency on.
Okay, and I noticed that since it's a competitive currency and you have Series 1, when Series 2 comes out, how does that translate? Does the Series 1 currency convert into Series 2? And
yeah, so with trying to do it through a currency versus the collectibles that we did last year and probably the last several years was, you were always able to go back and say like, oh, well, let me use my Series 1 or later collectibles, and that's really not going to be a thing for this year. You're going to definitely be encouraged to use those competitive trophies during the series because, yes, as you mentioned, when Series 2 comes around, we will expire the Series 1 trophies and prop the Series 2 trophies. And what's going to happen is all your Series 1 trophies are going to get cut in half and be used for your Series 2 trophies, kind of like as a starter, right? So I'm sure there's some sticker shock when you hear that, but really that's kind of how this was working in years past, right? It's just this one's going to be a little bit more in your face of like, oh, well, yes, my trophies aren't worth what they were now that there are new updates that require new trophies and new things. So that's how we're going to execute on that. I appreciate you mentioning that because I'm sure that's going to be something that the players are going to want to know about.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So I think that's it for series progression. We talked about series master. We'll go ahead and get that front image for you guys too. We didn't have it available till I think it was 6:59 a.m. Eastern, right when the stream started. Josh was kind of working on getting those images there. Let's go ahead and talk about Journey. So up next we have Journey, NFL 100 Part 1. So first off, we got a few parts going on here. Again, the milestones right here, I went ahead and highlighted that. But I noticed that the era and how these kind of these ultimate challenges are broken down into, man, it's getting to that point.
I'm up to nothing.
I know. I need some water. Go ahead, Jake, take it away.
So yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but the NFL, this is the 100th season of the NFL, and they're going to make a big deal of it. That's something that's really exciting and something that's absolutely worth celebrating from the NFL. We want to bring some of that into Ultimate Team as well. So part 1, kind of going through some of these different eras of all the games, and we've had a couple of our producers going through here and finding out some really cool tidbits. Like as I'm going through reading them, I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize they had that type of rule, when playing back then. So there's a lot of really cool learning experiences in here as well. But yeah, so just going in here, kind of recreating some of those moments, getting a little bit closer to that history of the NFL. And then yeah, we bring what people love about Journeys, which are some of those rewards. And for the master for this, we're looking at right here, Michael Thomas.
Boom.
88, your Journey Master. So I believe Journey is 50 challenges, but again, with that star system, it's not going to feel like just 50, right? Like, I doubt that you are going to be able to max star and get the bonus on every single one. There's definitely, like, when I mentioned, like, there were times where I was playing on 2 stars over the weekend, a lot of these were worth in Journey, right?
Yeah. I was trying to get the bonus condition. So I have a question for you. On the bonus condition, let's say that I go ahead and play through an ultimate challenge, right? And I have this bonus condition and I don't meet it. If I can keep replaying to try to go ahead and get that, if I back out completely, will I still be able to go ahead and get that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm glad you called that out. That's definitely something that we've done bonus conditions from time to time in years past, and that was one of those things where, like, at that time, if you didn't earn it and leave the challenge, you couldn't go back and get it. So it is different now. The thing to call out is if you're looking to get the max stars, right? If this thing is worth 4 stars, right? 3 of them being for the difficulty, and then there's 1 bonus, you have to play on 3 stars and get the bonus on 3 stars, right? Okay. You can't go get the bonus on 1 star and then say, okay, cool, I'm going to go get... I see you over there, pros. I know. Pro tip, you can go ahead and cancel that pro tip. It doesn't work.
1 star.
One star Farrell's over there.
1 star.
So, if you look at...
That's also my Uber rating. 1 star. Another pro tip: don't play Mold day 1. Apparently, he's beat every solo that you've captured. So.
No, actually,
that's a point for you now as well. I'm up 2 to 1 to 1.
That means how many stars he's accumulated, right?
That is how many that he got on that particular challenge.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right. Good stuff. All right, so that is Journey. Let's go ahead and jump into sets. I think the things I got: sets, store, legends. We'll talk pre-order, rookie premieres. Legends. All right. So we'll talk about so we'll jump right to legends and then we'll go into sets later. So legends solos. You'll see right here we have 8 legends that will be at launch. We're gonna go ahead and get all those ratings for those legend players and we'll tweet it out on @EASports_Mutt. Closer on 725 right here. Here is the legend solo sequence. When you log in, you'll be able to let's click in on Legend John Elway. What's cool here is you earn the power up, kind of like last year, but then you also can go ahead and complete the set. So all the information is laid out there for you.
Yep. So this is the mission for all those different legends. So if you're looking to know exactly what do I need to do to acquire Legend John Elway, here you go, right? So that earn the power up, it's taking you directly to that ultimate challenge. And by playing through that, that's how you're going to earn John Elway's power up. That's going to check off step 1, and then earning all these additional components that build up to that full Elway legend is sort of the next steps.
Yeah. And the legends we have at launch are John Elway, Marcus Allen, Marvin Harrison, Larry Allen. I'll let you say the next one.
DB55, Derek Brooks.
Got Michael Strahan, Mel Blunt, and Ken Houston.
Why don't I get to say Michael Strahan?
I don't know. I don't really know. I'm sorry. I mean, we've been here now for an hour and 10 minutes, probably a little bit longer.
That's my favorite morning show, and you're not even going to let me say Michael Strahan.
Well, hold on. Let me see if there's anything left here for you. Maybe you can talk about Madden Rewards MVP program.
We do have power-ups.
Huh? We do have power-ups.
Power-up sample.
Power-ups is pretty, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, before we get it, hold on. Wait, newsflash. No, she's like, no, we're not going to talk about that.
No. Whoa. Ooh.
I'll let Farrells talk about that.
What do you
Farrells.
Man of the
What do you
people.
think?
Man of the people. What do you got?
Man of the people.
What do they want to know? It's about... Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, tell them.
Yeah, so Agent K, big news here, and I know a lot of people have been super, super hyped up about their chance to play early, not just through Origin Access Premier or EA Access, but of course, Mut Rewards members and folks that have gone ahead and earned that legendary status. They want that chance to know,
For sure.
Is this my year? Is this the chance I'm going to get the game early? So, remember a couple years ago we did FedEx delivered Madden. I received a copy. It was glorious. The last few years, we went through email straight up. And what we found was a lot of people missed that email, right? They didn't have the right account linked. This year, how we're going to go about that, aside from, we have over 1,000 codes just for MDD members. So just for, you don't have to be a member, obviously. You're just viewers. So, just like the beta, Zeta Zodes, we'll have Zame Zodes for MDD, just hanging out and getting a chance. But for those folks who went
really
ahead
needs a camera.
and
really
really
needs a camera.
locked in and are looking for that, we've got another over 1,000 codes reserved just for those folks. And the way you're going to go ahead and access that is take a screenshot of your legendary status, do a little name on it so we know that it's yours, that matches up with your Twitter account, send it on over to the EA Sports _Mut account, and between 7:25 and 7:30, we'll get those out through that cadence. You can start today. We'll start 7:23, collecting those, right? And we know there's going to be a lot of members. There's always been more players that are up there in that status than there is copies. But we feel like through social, with as many as we have this year, we're going to be getting them out to you. So let us know your status. Take that screen, add your little Microsoft Paint to it, send it on over to EA Sports Mut. I've got Twitter guy watching it right now. We'll collect those and get those out to you between 7:25 and 7:30.
Charles,
Are we going to give away copies tonight? We have to check and make sure we can. They really don't like when we do that, but of course we're going to do it anyway. No, I'm just kidding. They love when we give stuff to the community. Pick that one up, throw it over to Jay Stein.
Don't hit me.
Those are hard copies. What we're going to give away tonight, you'll receive it on 7:25, so we're going to take down your account name.
Green.
Do you have Nightbot up?
Yep.
All right, so Gabby has Nightbot up. So we're going to take down your
Green
account.
does not like this.
If you would love a hard copy, we could. We could, but I feel like digital code, you're going to really want that on 7:25.
Give us your email. We'll send it to
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Gabby just said it. Digital copy,
I did not
email
know
7:25.
that these were in the wild until I showed up early.
They were there. They were
I just
sitting
got a
there.
tweet from Joke, the competitive Madden player. He said, send us an early copy. And we should. Because he's a competitive player. He's going to actually have a chance. So competitors are going to give copies away.
That's
Game
better than
Changers are
a
going to
tweet
give copies
from
away.
Better than a tweet from Andrew Wilson saying that you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
So
Devs are
I'm
going to say
definitely glad to be hearing
Dev
from Joke
team's going to
instead
give
of
them away. So
A-Dub.
do we want to roll Nightbot right now or want to wait till the end of the show? Should we roll one now, one at the end of the show?
one now, one at the end.
There you
All
go.
right.
Good stuff.
At least one at the end.
Oof, it's getting
So,
chilly up in here.
Couple.
Need
It's
some tea.
tough to read the chat. Yeah, you guys take a break. Maybe do some jumping jacks. You guys
Actually, I
got
need
great
to stand.
energy.
The app
I'm
told me to
excited.
stand. I need to get those.
Because then we're going to go
those
through power-ups.
stands in.
Jake, while we get Nightbot set and ready to roll, Can you tell us a little bit about the art team? Because not only do I love that they put the EA Access logo on this, where you can play on an early time frame, but just the purple, the Russell Wilson, he pops. Like, somebody had to construct this, put it together. It looks amazing. Give the art team a shout.
A huge shout out to those guys. I mean, what they do for me and how my brain works is basically black magic. You know, these guys, this team is pretty remarkable. You know, they can take a vision, come up with their own visions, come up with their own creative, and find a way to realize that and do it quickly and consistently. And you know, the thing that I think that they would be proud of, and obviously I'm super proud of, is the consistency that they bring to the table. Just a superb job from them all the way around. Definitely not enough love goes to them in this whole process. Oftentimes, we on the creative and production side are the ones holding them up and making their job a lot more difficult than it has to be. So huge shout out to that entire art squad, and definitely appreciate you giving them a shout out as well, Farles. That is definitely something that helps bring this mode to life. You know, when we were playing on at home over the weekend, there's a lot of stuff that we aren't able to put into the game at that time, and as soon as you bring it back in, you're just like, oh, okay, it's different now. This is the real deal. So huge shout out to them.
All right, we got a Madden 20 right here from Nightbot. Go ahead and roll. It can be PlayStation. Active. Have a winner.
Alan the Goat.
Alan the Goat.
Beep, beep.
Back it up.
All right. Alan the
I hope
Goat,
that's not
first
I
winner
hope that's
here.
not marketing, Alan. Did he want a copy of his own game? All right.
I don't want to say anything more because then I just shoot myself in the foot.
All right.
But that's not marketing.
We're going to go ahead and roll one more right now because we can, because that could be, you want to give away one on each. And then, of course, at the end of the show, folks, we're going to give away more copies. Like we said, Gabby the Granner is going to get your email, and then we will send it to you on 7/25, which is also happens to be when EA Access goes.
Cool.
One more for now, and then more later. Unhittable 88. Unhittable.
Has
88.
he thrown a no-no?
I've thrown a no-no on 5/3/99. That's the date because I have the ball in my room, obviously, displayed on my mantle.
I love this.
Yep, 5/3/99. No hit the Yankees in Farm League. Not a big deal.
Hey, it worked.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we'll talk about that.
Are people
here
doing
shortly.
their
impressions?
impressions? Or no, not their impressions. Their Mutt Reward legendary status over to EA Sports Mutt?
Actually, I was paying attention more about the blog going live.
Oh, the blog
which
is
put
live.
A ton of effort.
Do we want to jump
Well,
into that?
let's walk through the power up process a little bit, and there's gonna be some videos from content creators and game changers tomorrow. Also gameplay, all that kind of stuff. One thing that I think this part is, I think when you guys heard about Superstar X Factor abilities, I think that was a really big task for your team to undertake. And I don't know if you want to give some context on what was needed to be done to kind of get us where we need to be. And the level of information that we're about to share now, and also what we posted on the blog, is as transparent as possible about Superstar X Factors and Superstar abilities. We even put a spreadsheet in there that has a ton of information they can manipulate. Also, we talked about X Factors and Superstar abilities and salary cap mode, what the costs are, what they are. Walk us through kind of just how did you guys bring Superstar X Factors to Madden?
Gonna get deep here.
All right, sounds good.
And I hope hope I don't stumble on myself too much. But yeah, so the Superstar X Factor feature that Gameplay built for the game this year is awesome, right? And really became sort of what's the best way for us to use this in Ultimate Team? We know Ultimate Team is just, quite frankly, a little bit of a different beast than what you find out in other areas of Madden. And so one of the initial concerns was, what's going to happen when you get 22 guys on a field that all have, these abilities and X Factors potentially? What is the game even going to play like? What's it going to look like? Is it going to be a case where everything is super overpowered? Is it going to be a case where everybody's just canceling each other out and now you're just kind of playing, older iterations of Madden? So there was a lot of, legitimate, thought and design, and we wanted to figure out what the best approach was. So the first thing that we did was we wanted to build archetypes this year in Ultimate Team. And so with archetypes, when in terms of what it brings to the table for superstar abilities is it lets us do a much better job of setting the expectation of what a particular player will have access to. When I say I have access to, I'm talking about specific superstar abilities, those passive abilities that the player gets on every single down when he's inside and playing the game. So we went through that. We took an exercise of, okay, well, we have our giant list of abilities. We know our archetypes now of where these guys need to fit into. Well, let's go and first initially say, what ability belongs to which specific archetype. And the easiest one that I can go to and talk about in the example that I think I give in the blog is, things like a scrambler quarterback. A scrambler quarterback is just flat out not going to have access to some of these accuracy or dead-eye abilities that other, archetypes in the quarterbacks will have access to. That's just, it won't be a thing. It doesn't matter if they're 99s across the board. You are making a choice when you take on that player that I'm going to be playing a certain way, or I'm going to, put more value into something like Escape Artist or Fast Break versus Red Zone Deadeye. So those are choices that you're making when you are building your team, right? And hopefully, one of the goals here for us is not only to make sure that the gameplay experience is great, but we also are doing our best to promote variety inside of Ultimate Team, right? Like, it kills me when I hear like, well, I'm just playing against the same guys all the time, right? Like, we feel like there's going to be more choice for players this year in terms of what's going to match their play style and what do they feel is the best thing for them. So the next thing that we did after that was, all right, cool. Here's everything that a field general quarterback can get. Well, now let's take another pass at it and say, well, what is some of the super strong ones that is going to have that those field generals are going to have access to, and what are some of the things that are sort of like in the middle or lower on? And so that's where we came up with, grouping these into 3 different buckets. So a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3. Again, with tier 3 being the thing that we felt was most, sort of game-changing or impactful for that specific archetype. And so once we did that, and then I guess lastly, with the help of RG, was we went through and made like a ratings criteria pass. So it's again similar to last year. Things that we were able to bring to the table is, okay, cool, you have access to these things, but for Gunslinger, if you're not at a certain throw power threshold, then the ability's just not going to show for you in that specific tab. So, okay, cool. A lot of different context there. More in the blog that we can read. Yeah. And I'm sure we'll be doing, probably some social media interaction as well with some people that might have some additional questions for that. But when you go to the power up, sorry, I know we were handing that for a while there, is there's a little bit of nuance to this, but for the most part, at 80, 85, and 90 are the different OVR thresholds that you should be on the lookout for. So at 80 is when you get access to that tier 1 slot, at 85 for the tier 2, and 90 is when you get the tier 3. Again, there's a little bit of nuance to that, but that's basically where we're trying to give players access to that.
I noticed that we're also, there's unlock of chemistries as well, as we go through this.
So with power-ups in general, this year we wanted to take a slightly different approach. A lot of the core concepts are still there. But one of the things that we wanted to do was kind of like get you to the meaningful actions a little bit quicker. So right now you're going to see that there's only 5 upgrade steps with training before you start to get to where you need to put in his core item, right? So as you're doing that, you're sort of like getting upgrades to the OVR, but you're also getting things like the team chemistry slot. You're getting the scheme chemistry slot, the physical chemistry slot, for instance. You're getting all that stuff. So that you're kind of getting those. It's like a 2-for-1 when you're upgrading through the path now. And then, like I said, as you get to a point where you start to cross some of those OVR thresholds that I mentioned, that's where you can see right now Russell Wilson has that first ability slot opened up. So from there, it's really about, again, well, what does that specific archetype have access to? Does he meet any ratings thresholds that may or may not come along with that specific ability? And then there's sort of, I guess, like the long-term plans. Like, okay, cool, well, I can get the first lot, I can get a tier 1, and then a tier 2, and a tier 3, right? But you're definitely going to find yourself where you're making really difficult choices, right? You're definitely going to get to a spot where you're like, well, I really want 2 of those tier 2 abilities, but I'm having to choose one of them. Like, when will I ever be able to do that, or will I ever be able to do that? Well, at 93 overall, that tier 1 bucket that Russell Wilson has will now get access to everything that was available inside of tier 2 as well. So that's kind of your opportunity, as like now you're progressing that player. He's gotten a little bit better. Well, now he's also going to have the ability to get different ability options put on him as well. So that's kind of the progression path that we're talking about there.
Got it.
Again, I mentioned a little bit in the blog. I know it's a little dense. It was probably one of the more challenging things I've had to write. But same concept for when you hit 96 overall. 96 overall, that tier 2 now gets access to those tier 3 ones, those critical, crucial ones that players are going to be like, well, those are my jam. I want more of those. Okay. So that's kind of how when we talk about wanting to make sure that there is legs to Ultimate Team. That this was one of the things that we felt like, okay, well, one, it's going to hopefully still promote that competitive balance that we're looking to hit. But then also, well, why do I want to continue to progress? Why am I looking to get my team better? Well, there's going to be additional options in your ability loadout, for lack of a better word, that you're going to be able to get into. So I think that's going to be some really cool and compelling choices, and kind of, again, promote that journey that players are going to go on with us this year. And then the last thing, and this one is super critical. I mentioned it to you earlier when we were in the lineup screen. The big difference in the lineup screen for me is once you start putting abilities or X factors on these players, you're going to see this kind of additional contextual. It's in the blog. I don't know if we were able to take a picture of it.
I got a screenshot of it. Z4Ls, can you zoom in on that? I can try to see. Not zoom in, but it's in the blog. We'll make sure to tweet it out from @EA Sports_Mutt. All this information is in the blog. We just made sure to have it go live while we were doing the stream so we can reference it afterwards. So just go check out Gridiron Notes under latest news.
But essentially there's an activate superstar option on there. And that's where you're going and choosing, I don't think we mentioned in this particular stream, we have talked about this before, is you get to choose 3 guys from each side of the ball. So 3 guys on offense, 3 guys on defense. You can put abilities on multiple guys, more than 3, but you're going to have to kind of choose and elect which 3 guys you're sort of activating for when they go into the game. And if you don't fill that out, if you're not choosing any of those 3 guys, they will not be active when you go into the game. So that's kind of the big one that I think might take a game or two for players to kind of, oh yeah, that's right. Well, why isn't it? Oh, that's right. I didn't activate them, right? Yeah. So that's kind of where you're going to go and make that choice. And again, do you want to roll with a quarterback and 2 receivers? Do you want a quarterback, halfback, receiver? Like, you're going to have all those different options and loadouts in there. So like a big layer of strategy that you're going to be able to find here. So again, I know that is a lot to go through.
It's a lot.
I guarantee there are questions about that. And we're going to do our best to answer those.
Yeah. So, guys, we'll make sure to tweet out on @EA Sports_Mutt. For those people that just want to go ahead and type in Gridiron Notes. Look for X Factor and Superstar abilities. And in Madden Ultimate Team, that information is there. We provided a spreadsheet that you guys can download so that you can go ahead and say, like, hey, if it's field general, let me go ahead and, unmark not applicable so I can see kind of everything that kind of gets unlocked. So there is so much information about this that it was really important to me and Jake and RG and many people to get you guys that information so that you at least had it handy, and that it's going to be at a certain space. One thing to highlight is that there are some positions that are not probably in that spreadsheet that we'll look to update it. Kind of as those requirements continue to, once we get those and we add them into the spreadsheet.
Things like linemen and fullbacks.
I think kicker and things like that. So there's just so much content, not only in this stream, but so much content going into the blogs that, rather than delay, it's like, let's get it out there. Let's put disclaimers out there for our players. Because I think at the end of the day, for the people that are tuning in to Madden Daily Drops, you guys just want the information. What you do with that information is totally up to you. If you have questions, definitely tweet Jake. Jake is very familiar with this process. For me, I probably won't be available for the next 24 hours just because I have a doctor's appointment that I have to go to. But I will be monitoring Twitter later on tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. So to recap, blog, great place to go. You'll instantly be able to see what abilities are available for each archetype. And then again, when I mentioned that, some of those players either have OVR, Some have OVR and a ratings threshold. All that information is in there. We triple checked it, but I'm not going to say that there's not, a 95 or it should have been a 93.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna probably be a mistake or two in there, but we definitely did our best. And again, this is a credit to you to make sure that you're holding us accountable and making sure that we can get that information to the players as early as possible. As challenging as that is, and that one was daunting. It was important,
but it was good.
and definitely
it was really important to get it out
definitely
there.
worth it.
Yeah, so a lot of information there, a lot of meaty stuff. So let us know. We'll be trying to answer as many things as we can. Even probably if we see something that's really standing out, let's get it in a Gridiron Notes. To answer community questions. That's going to be the platform that myself and our community team will be using going into Madden 20. Is by really talking through Madden Daily Drops or whatever we're going to call it. Not just that, but it'll also be the platform which we communicate with our players on a weekly basis. We're exploring other ways, but having something in one place versus tweeting one person directly, that's great one-to-one, but at the end of the day, we want to try to get all that information where people can go ahead and share that information with everyone else. So we kind of walked through just power-ups. You guys saw some screens. There's going to be some videos coming out tomorrow from game changers and content creators. One thing to really highlight though is that when they took their videos, they took their images 2 weeks prior to me taking mine. So there was a lot of stuff that just wasn't ready. I mean, we're launching, I want to say it's a week and a half early. I mean, it's crazy how much the timeline has moved up, and we're all working hard to make sure that everything is accurate and is out there. But at the end of the day, it's just trying to get you guys the information as early as possible. So that's that. Let's talk about we talked about power-ups. Let's talk about sets. Is it sets next? So one thing, this is a good point for those people that have the theme builders and are upgrading, right? Remember we said that you can only do 10 of them. There's going to be the option that you can upgrade with training. So if you pick 10 players in the theme builders, don't be discouraged. There are going to be ways to go ahead and continue that power-up path if you don't have the wild card Russell Wilson, right? Theme King right here. You can go ahead and use your training to kind of get that. I thought that was really cool. Great move on the development team, so you didn't feel like you couldn't complete everything. We've got a lot of completionists out there in the community. I'm one of them, so it's just kind of great to do. So let's talk about exchange sets. We're going to walk through these exchange sets real quick. We got 10 exchange sets. First up, let's just run through these images. We have our rookie master Josh Allen. Right here, you're going to trade in 70 gold rookie players to earn his 86 overall core rookie master Josh Allen. And I think we have a screenshot of what his ratings will be. Anything you want to say? I mean, I know a lot of Jags fans out there will be happy.
Beast. Yep.
I mean, with that 80 speed acceleration, definitely. I could use them on my team. All right, so what's next? So these are just your basic. Here's an example of just you're trading in all 70 gold rookie players to earn the 86 overall core rookie master Josh Allen. Next up, we have all these other sets, which are either rookie exchange, low silver to high silver, rookie exchange, high silver to gold. You got your 66 to 69 overall silver exchange, your 70 to 74 overall gold exchange, your 75 to 79 gold exchange, your 80 to 82, your 83 to 84, your 85 to 86, 87 to 88. These are all exchange sets. We wanted to get this information out there to you guys, so that you guys know what kind of sets are coming from an exchange perspective. Next up, let's go ahead and take another look at another set that I think we have available here, Mut Loyalty. So let's talk about, you want to walk us through Mut Loyalty and then also highlight, no?
No, it's okay. Yeah, so this is where you're going to use those loyalty tokens. Just everything that you were able to. I got him on that one. Everything that you were able to earn from 19. You'll get those when you come in, and I think we're going to talk about this here in a second. But right now we're targeting 8-2 for when we actually go ahead and do sort of the rookie premieres and the loyalty tokens and getting all that stuff out there. We're targeting 8-2 or August 2nd for that. So, but when you get those, these are all the different areas that you can go and choose to use those, depending on how many of those that you were able to earn in 19.
Awesome. And I think, again, just to highlight, a lot of the rationale behind this is, at worldwide launch, we're hoping we don't have any kind of issues, but when things happen, and it's happening on a global scale, we want to make sure that we can work on those and whatnot. So these are all the things that we have right there from, Mut Loyalty. Let's take a look at the next. I think we have one more set, don't we? Yeah. Okay. Ultimate Trainers. So this was the set that we had talked about. You know what? I think we talked about this earlier, and this might be leftover, where this was the Ultimate Trainer where you trade it in, you get a 72 overall, but then you get those 6 tokens you trade in to go ahead and get an 85 overall NAT player item. I think this might be leftover. I know we were kind of cutting it close to get to it. Let's talk about the store, Jake. So let's give people kind of a glimpse of the store. One thing to highlight, this is a work in progress. Not all things are final. So, you know, just at least want to give you guys a concept of what's in the store and what you guys can expect. I'll let you walk through it right here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we just got your different offers in here. You know, the ever popular Get a Gold players are back. Let's see. I mean, yeah, the Elite Player Pack was one that I definitely liked last year. And as soon as I was getting my 50,000 coins over the weekend, that's where I was looking to go, is get my my guaranteed elite in there. The special offers I thought were really cool. There's definitely some good ones in there. You know, again, for I totally don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's like a couple thousand coins, 5,000, 6,000 coins, and I was able to get right into like an 80, 81 fully auctionable player. Sure. So there was definitely a lot of good offers. I know you mentioned that earlier of, you know, making sure that you're going in there and checking those out as you're leveling up. Again, kind of rehash of the competitive currency for people coming in late. Competitive trophies are a, you know, user currency now versus collectibles, and this is the place inside the store where you're going to be able to go and redeem some of those, choose some of those packs that prior you were only really earning from solo battles or weekend league. And then lastly, our team items page, which is a page where you can just, you know, get everything that you're looking for with training. Mm-hmm.
No, so that's great. I mean, you know, we wanted to give you guys some context on what's there. You know I needed kind of like another playbook, so I went ahead and used my series one, my training to go ahead and get that. So I'll unlock that there. Let's see what else we got. What do we got?
I'm gonna go off script.
Okay.
I'm gonna go off script for a second.
Go for it.
Hang in there with me, guys.
I'm hanging.
So I was talking with the team just before coming on stream, and I was like, okay, what are some of the other things? You know, what you know, I'm got a million things going through my mind of like, what are some of the things that we should kind of talk about? One of those that stood out was, well, what are you guys going to do with limiteds this year, right? That was definitely something that we heard a lot of feedback on last year. Didn't feel like it made sense to go back and do exactly what we did last year. So we're trying something out this year. And, you know, we'll see how this one goes. So for limiteds, what's going to happen is last year they were 500,000 coin quick sell, which, you know, did some things to the auction house, and again, totally heard that, valid feedback. We're going to cut that in half. So the limiteds are going to go for 250,000 in terms of a quick sell value. There's still positives to doing that. So we felt like, okay, well, we can adjust and hear the feedback while still bringing some of those positives to the table. But the other kind of unique thing to call out here is there will not be a training option in the power up, right? There won't, like last year where we did, you know, we launched a limited, a week later, you could go right in, okay, cool, I'm going to throw my training at it, and I'm good to go. I've kind of fulfilled that requirement. Cool. But, you know, you don't do anything else, like you're still blocking people. Yeah. What are you going to do? So what we're going to end up doing is at the end of the series, we're going to go and re-release all the limiteds, but that re-release of the limiteds won't have the 250,000 quick sell on it. So we feel like we're still going to honor and, you know, encourage players to go and get after those limiteds, and they're still going to have value for them, but they're not going to just block, right? So it was one of those things where, you know, we heard a lot of people saying like, well, it almost doesn't even make sense for me. Like, why is that cool, right? Yeah. Like, Mut is this thing where I should feel like, again, it's just like bragging, right? Yeah. A little bit. Like, hey, I was able to get this. And that lost a little bit of its value. And so this was, you know, kind of our attempt to bring a little bit of that back while still bringing the value that's there when those limiteds get dropped. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments and discussion around that. Please let us know. Yeah, happy to hear some feedback.
No, that's good. Anything else you want to highlight?
My script's done now.
Okay, your script's done. All right. Let's talk about, I think, what do we got next, Farles? Loyalty offers. So for those people that participate in the Madden Rewards MVP program, so if you played any combination of Madden, NFL 17, 18, or 19 in the given years, you're basically going to be eligible for special rewards in Madden NFL 20. So, if you played 17, 18, and 19, this is tied to your Madden Rewards account. And so when you log in, you're going to be able to go ahead and get these packs. Kind of like last year, these player items are NAT. We went ahead and highlighted that information in the, I think it was the NFL pre-orders blog. It was one of the community questions we elaborated on. But one thing that players are always asking is like, hey, how can I plan? With the information, and we went ahead and took all the ratings for these player items. We want to show them to you on screen so you can kind of choose. Who are you guys going to choose off the bat? I'm probably going to get Devontae Freeman, and I think I might go ahead and get DeMarcus Lawrence, and then possibly Tyron. That's my play.
Pro tip. So obviously Juju's available in another, like you'll get him early potentially, and I believe you can get Honey Badger along the way. DeMarcus Lawrence, I have not tried in Ultimate Team yet, so I can't say that this DeMarcus Ware is going to go nuts. But DeMarcus Ware in regular Madden is an absolute problem. He is so good at regulars, whatever. It's just really, really makes me want to select him in this. Man, this is tricky. Thankfully, I'm going to get to pick a couple.
Humble brag.
I'm going to have a little bit more.
All right, moving on to Jake.
Yes, Jake, go for it. Overall, some really solid items here.
Give me the edge rusher, and man, he's a Falcon, so I really don't want to do it. But give me Freeman as well. It's probably the top two guys.
Boom.
Yeah,
Since
Freeman
Jake and I are
a little bit extra out of the backfield. Probably want 2 halfbacks as well. So that's another no-brainer for me.
Good stuff. So this is the Madden Rewards MVP program. Just wanted to highlight that. Again, this stuff will be coming out on August the 2nd during worldwide launch. So stuff that we'll be monitoring once it goes out, making sure that players get those items. Next up is Rookie Premieres. I think our players would like to know kind of what Rookie Premieres will look like going into Madden 20. So we kind of say that for the end. This also is coming out on 8/2, August 2nd, worldwide launch. So just want to go ahead and pop that up there. Do you have that screenshot that we can show? Boom. All right, all the ratings. And we'll just put it up here, and then, we'll ask. I mean, who did you guys complete in Madden? I know Jake. Jake completed them all. And Faros probably completed them all as well. But who are you most excited to use in Madden 20?
Well, I mean, taking a look into the crystal ball a little bit, it's hard to not think that Kyler Murray's ceiling is pretty high, right? Like what is that guy gonna aspire to? Maybe not on day one, but what is this guy gonna potentially get to inside of Ultimate Team? He's somebody that could definitely be a difference maker. I've made no excuses about it. I'm a Bucs fan. I'll still always have a special place in my heart for Gruden. So I'd take a look at Josh Jacobs as well. That's somebody that I think if there's somebody that can utilize him, I'm still going to give my man Coach Gruden benefit of the doubt. Wow, yeah, and then we got some more. Nick Bosa. That's a tempting one. Hollywood Brown. I don't know about Hollywood and Lamar. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if they prove me wrong.
Crazy. All right.
I'm looking at Kyler. Obviously, that 82 speed's pretty solid at 73, and then Hollywood Brown. I believe that's 88 speed at 74 OVR. That's gonna be pretty nasty. Those are the couple that I'm looking at. Of course, I did fill out the squad, so I'll test them all and let you know on MDD how it goes. But Savage as well snuck up on me as somebody to keep an eye out on. So Darnell Savage is somebody there early that should be able to get it done a little bit for you.
Good stuff. What I'm looking for is Madden 20. So I think that's my take on kind of getting a chance to kind of play with these new player items in Madden Ultimate Team. Really excited about that. Jake, we covered a lot tonight. We kind of figured that it would be a couple of hours that we would be doing the stream. Is there anything else you want to add, Z-Farls, or anything else we need to add? Oh, shoot, pre-orders. So let me go ahead and talk about pre-orders. So for those people that we might even have some questions from the chat too that we'll look at. So right here you guys have the graphics for pre-order, and you'll see them right here. So again, want to highlight earlier on the stream, there's I took a lot of images really, really early, so they're kind of placeholders, but these are the images that are publicly facing out to community members on what is going to be out there. We have, for the Ultimate Superstar Edition, we have the first past and present Elite Player Pack that has Jerry Rice and Jalen Ramsey. The other thing, too, is select 1 out of 32 core elite players. If you go check out the NFL pre-orders blog, those players are listed there. So that information is there. You're going to get your 15 gold team fantasy packs. You know, if you got the Ultimate Superstar Edition, 1 large training quick sell value, that values. I need to go back and double check and look at the blog. I'll probably pull that up to kind of walk through that. But it's out there. All that information is out there. You guys were great. Kind of looking at that information. There is some stuff out there that we've not been able, like the ratings are still being done for some of the GameStop pre-orders. So once we have that info, we'll definitely try to get that out to you guys as well. The team is literally working to like the last minute, you know, not like last minute, but like they're burning the midnight oil to go ahead and make sure that we get everything out there just in time, top quality for the community. So. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot. Like, I'm mentally fried right now. I think I've hit my limit. But let's talk about Jalen Ramsey. Here's a pre-order for the past and present. I have Jalen Ramsey on my team. I got the Ultimate Superstar Edition, and right here he's got 81 speed, 82 acceleration, 83 jumping, 81 play rec, 84 man, 82 zone, 85 press. And then next up, I think we have
Pro tip.
Pro
Yes.
tip. All right,
Yes.
what's the pro tip, Dad?
Jalen Ramsey, yes.
Go for it. Get it? Okay. Jerry Rice, you want to walk through these stats right here, sir?
Sir, no one's ever called me sir before. I thought he was talking to Jake.
Sorry, guys. I'm hitting that threshold where I am trying
holding
to
it together,
stay.
man. You're
I'm
holding it
trying
together.
to stay,
You know what,
guys.
Agent K? I'm going to rock us through to the end of this thing right here.
Thank
You
you.
got Jerry Rice
Thank
flying
you.
in, 84 OVR wide receivers. You got 80 speed, 84 short route running, 81 medium, 80 and 80 for catching traffic and spec catch, and then 77 on the deep ball for Mr. Jerry Rice. I think for the most part, that does get us through all the graphics that we had.
Yeah.
Gabby, hit us up with any questions in the chat. We do have to do a
definitely.
giveaway.
I
Rookie
got
premieres
hand
in.
off. Yep.
All
So
right.
a couple questions here. Shout out to Gabby. So the rookie premieres, are they non-auctionable, tradable? Yeah, that's how that works every year. When you've completed it in the previous year, you get the content in the following year. That content will never hit the auction house. The thing that I don't want to officially comment on, because I know that there was still an outstanding question on the team, was if we were going to do anything in terms of abilities or chemistries with them this year. So I don't want to comment on anything like that on stream, but that's something that we can try to track down.
Yep.
Next one's pre-order content. When do they get it? 8/2.
Okay.
August 2nd.
Worldwide launch. So
Worldwide
basically
launch.
everything from Madden Rewards MVP. You're looking at rookie premieres. You're looking at your, Ultimate Superstar, Superstar Edition. All of them.
I may go back to the team and ask about that one. We might try to do that one on the early access of the pre-order. It'll depend. I need to go ask the team. That's one that we'll take back no later than August 2nd for sure on that one.
Cool.
So, is your progress saved on EA Access?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. You get your 10 hours, but when those 10 hours are completed, you pick up the full title again. You pick right back up with where you left off, whether it's an Ultimate Team or franchise, QB1. Progress is good to go. So, the level head start from plane 19. So, the level skip. Right now, what is it? Dark screen. Oh my goodness, Gabby, dark screen. Gabby, the controller. Okay.
He has more than one job.
We're
guys.
back. We're back
more
in
than
it.
one job.
So is the level skip going to be there from 19? Some inside baseball. We were waiting on a dependency from one of our central teams, not currently in the building. It sounds like that got resolved. I would think by Thursday, when EA Access comes out, that the level skip would be there. If you find yourself potentially playing Madden 20 before Thursday, there's a chance where maybe it's not.
Yeah, sure.
But that is something that is back in there. We'll jump you to 10. There won't be rewards like last year. The rewards that you got last year were really everything that you didn't play, right? Like, because last year when some of those early challenges, we actually did like the opposite of a level gate, where like once you got too far, you couldn't go back and do it.
Yeah.
This year it stays open, so there's no content that you're missing out on. So we're not.
And you don't want to do that because of the stars,
Right.
right? So I mean, like if you, I can already hear people. Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, like I skipped, and why can't this happen? You think about it. You don't want us to force you to skip to level 10, and there's a lot of bonus conditions that you can meet to get those stars, because those stars are really important. They kind of help level up your team. So just I think that's something I noticed where I was like, I'm kind of glad I'm playing through all of this.
Yeah.
Going through that process.
Pro tip. I do recommend playing through because there's a lot different. And
There is.
it's a really fun way to get through like the new missions and kind of sort through. You're in there and it doesn't even, it feels like you're deep in, but you're right on the surface still. It's really unique, and I think early when you have fewer things to like focus on, because as soon as you start to dive into stuff, it fills out. And
you're in.
The dedication's on there, so those early levels are pretty good. Pro tip, I'd go for it.
Okay. Any updates on house rules?
Yes, I mean, house rules are going to be coming back with the amount of content and different experiences that are going to be there at launch. It's one of those things where we're not going to have it for you on day one. I would say within the first month, you should start seeing house rules. Not specifically related to house rules, but that also kind of goes for things like, we should touch on solo battles and weekend league, which will not be there during this EA access period.
Correct, yeah.
So starting,
I think it's on the 29th, right?
next week.
Okay.
Yes. So if you're part of the early access of the pre-order, that week will be the week that we run solo battles, right? And then the following week, I think, is the first week where we're going to have both solo battles and weekend league. And weekend league for the first week will be open. So you won't have a qualification method. You're just automatically going to be good to go. So that's kind of how that's going to roll itself out. And then, like I said, house rules probably shortly thereafter will follow, but definitely part of our plans. You will see it in August.
Cool. Well, there's definitely a lot of stuff. Before we go ahead and give you guys a reminder about tweeting us your legendary picture and like really blow it out. Like one thing I want to highlight to you guys is we put a lot of stuff in Gridiron Notes for you guys. We talked about this, I believe it was last week, where on the Gridiron Notes we had Clint on the show. We went ahead and walked through a lot of the things that were in the Madden 20 closed beta feedback. And just one thing to note, a lot of those things that we highlighted that are going to be fixed are going to be fixed by worldwide launch. So you'll see some things kind of trickling in on 7/25, at EA Access, but the official 8.2 is when a lot of those things will be fixed. So when you guys get an update, on 8.2, it's a lot of the stuff that we reference in the Gridiron Notes right there. If there's anything that really stands out or we want to call out, we'll make sure to do that for you guys. We did clarify that on the last stream. We want to let you guys know about that. Also, go to the Gridiron Notes Hub. There's a lot of information there for franchise-related stuff, for Madden Ultimate Team, gameplay, a lot of great information. Just a heads up, tomorrow we will go ahead and have a Gridiron Notes coming out for those achievement hunters in Madden 20. You'll get to see all the achievements for Xbox, PS4, and also PC. And then I think on the 24th, reward structure is really important. So I was working with Cody, huge shout out to him. We were kind of putting together a blog post for Gridiron Notes that walks through the reward structure for I think it's solo battles, mutt drafts, and also head-to-head seasons. There's a lot of content right there with all the breakdowns. One thing I do need to highlight with that specific article is that you need to sit down and you need to digest it because it's a lot. We spent a lot of time writing up that stuff, and we're always listening to your feedback. If you guys see things in these articles that you want updated in the future, let us know. But you know what? Without further ado, I know you guys want to get back to it. Make sure to check out Gridiron Notes, the Superstar X Factors and Superstar Ability requirements for Mutt. Let's go ahead and tweet at us with a picture of your legendary status for Madden rewards codes. I think that's actually really cool. I can't emphasize.
At EA Sports_Mutt.
At EA Sports_Mutt. I need to echo what Farrell said. I think it's really cool that our team, our community team is working with the community to kind of get that information out there, reward legendary status. It's something that we're just really passionate about. We appreciate our players tuning into MDD. We're really passionate about our players playing our game, and we want to be part of that process and making sure people get codes. So, Jake, anything else you want to say, man?
No, before we start wrapping things up, just another thank you. Thank you to everybody tuning in. this was a long one. I think we kind of knew this was going to be a little bit of a elongated stream. So appreciate everybody tuning in, checking us out. EA Access coming up soon. Be ready. Thank you everybody in here too. Cool. Appreciate it. Shout out to the team. I'll be joining you guys in about 5 minutes, maybe?
All right, we got to beep, back it up. One more time here on the show. We've got 2 giveaways minimum coming in, flying in with a little bit of Madden. Hold those games up, folks. Show them that they're real. Show them that they're here. We're going to be sending these out through email on the 25th to the winners of tonight's stream. Don't forget, as Agent K noted, over 1,000 codes for legendary status members through EA Sports Mutt Twitter. Take a photo, scribble your name on it, and we will select randomly for a chance to win from there. You've also got, for the MDD crowd, I understand most of you probably legendary. You're legendary if you're in the show, in my book.
I was waiting for it.
In the rewards book, you
put it on the tee for yourself. That one.
I've been practicing this all day.
Love it.
Been sitting up here.
Love
yelling.
it. It's great.
So
let it all out right now.
We got a first winner.
First winner. Who is it?
Benny Big Dog.
Ooh,
Benny
Big Dog.
Benny Big Dog.
Has not thrown a no-hitter.
Unlikely. That is our first winner. When we do MDD in the mornings, obviously goal there to pick it up heavily on 7:30 to 8:02. We have another around over 1,000 codes there that we'll be dropping in. I don't want to say we're going to drop in the chat, but we'll find ways through whispers and similar to Zeta Zodes to get them out to people. I understand it's a frenzy. We don't want to cause that, and we want to get them out earlier rather than later. So we'll keep an eye on that. Remember, worldwide launch not till 8/2. So I know everyone's excited. I know everyone's already clicked the link below for EA Access on July 25th. But of course, we'll be working through that.
Man's a pro.
To get some,
This man is a pro.
One other opportunity, Agent K mentioned it, and I would like to just draw a little bit more attention to it, is you may not have known, but you can actually be a Madden ratings adjuster for the day. You can be just like Gabby the Granter and become a Madden ratings adjuster for the day. Due to the NFL 100, they're doing 100 awesome things. You could win a leg workout with Saquon Barkley. Travis Kelce will go to your wedding. A bunch of awesome things. One of those is become Madden ratings adjuster for the day. So head on over to the regular Madden Twitter. They tweeted about what you have to do. You got to tell us who you think should be a 99.
Gabby's not the only one I saw on the E60 special.
There was a lot of other people.
There was definitely a lot of other people.
Texting one of them right now.
So definitely do that. Definitely go get your EA Access. At least click the link. We've got one more giveaway flying in right now.
Yep, one more.
Beep beep.
Jammer J.
Jammer J. He's gonna go ahead and get a message from Gabby, and then we'll email him on 7:25 with that code, man. Yeah. So really exciting stuff here. That's 4 game copy giveaways.
Charles.
Lots more coming.
Everybody's stuck with it. Gotta do more.
All right, Gabby. I'm in. We have codes. We'll take these. I mean, this is an MDD, and we've got over 1,000. So just keep hitting the button. Let's do. We have 3 minutes left till 9 o'clock. Agent K said 2 hours.
Yep. Oh, and I had to say one thing. Actually, let me bring that up. So after the stream is over, I believe Mutthead will have the Mutt player ratings. So definitely go check it out. On that blog editorial that we put out, there it says what's next, ratings. All that information is out there. One thing to highlight is that there are some player items that won't be up there, like Legends. Or like Deacon Jones or things like that, because those ratings are still being finalized, but everything should be done by 7:25. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that.
And when you send your legendary status, use hashtag Madden20. But
yeah. So you got the mic on.
I love that you just dropped in that Mudhead's dropping the ratings. Also, your gridiron notes is going to be tremendous. Gabby the Granter.
Lance James.
No relation to LeBron James that I'm aware of. Lance James, another winner. We are giving out full copies of Madden 20. We're not giving away EA Access codes, which we will be doing in the future, especially on 7:25.
Getting the real deal.
But you're getting the full standard edition here.
I'm just checking to see if there's anything out there breaking the internet.
Last one.
All right, last one for Gabby. We've got 1 minute left. TikTok, beep beep, back it up.
Killer Jet.
Killer Jet
has been following for 2 years.
This guy's been following for 2 years.
Killer.
Here we go.
Josh will be happy.
Beep beep.
Maybe that's the hockey team. Maybe
Back
that
it
was
up.
the hockey Jets.
Gabby, one more for the fans at home. The chat has been amazing tonight. They showed up in a big way for
All
tonight's
this
show.
energy, man.
Jake
All this
in the
energy.
building.
Woo.
Jake in a big way coming in, getting us Small break from work, but this is even actually work as well. He had to
right,
put all
last
this
one.
together.
Relentless. 111412.
Relentless. 111142.
I think I know that number.
Relentless. We've been relentless.
I
Promoting
think he's
EA
want to
access.
give. I think he's want to give away in the past.
Hey, more
Good
power.
stuff. More power to him. Great stuff.
We're good. All right.
All right.
Anything else you want to add? Agent K, you want to
No.
hit us with a Madden minute?
Honestly, I don't think I'm the best.
You've got 1 minute left.
All right, let's see. All right, guys. I don't even know what to talk about. So, Madden Ultimate Team, guys, make sure to go ahead and check out. If you weren't on here, make sure to check out the archive. We talked about a lot of things, how to go ahead and start things up with Madden Ultimate Team. When you go ahead and pre-order the game, you're going to go ahead and get your pre-order information. What you got. We talked about Mut Levels, which what you can go ahead and unlock as you run through those Mut Levels. We revealed Mut Level Master Torrey Holt. Right here, you got a 70 and 74. We also talked about some of those stats that you're going to need for tracking your career for your Mutt dedication in the game, which is pretty awesome. We talked about theme builders, we revealed some right here, CJ Mosley, Ndamukong Suh, and Russell Wilson. We also talked about on the stream Series Master Von Miller. I mean, hey, Jake is bringing the heat this time, so no joke with the content. Really excited. We also have Journey Master Michael Thomas coming to the game if you are playing those journeys. Next up, the other thing too is we have Josh Allen Rookie Master in the exchange sets. You'll be able to get 70 of all of the core rookies, and you can go ahead and complete him. Also, Madden Rewards MVP program. If you played Madden NFL 17, 18, or 19, make sure to go ahead and check in on August 2nd for your Madden Rewards MVP. Rookie premieres will also come out on August 2nd. And here they are for you right here. If you completed them last year, complete that set. You technically have till tomorrow morning, get them done. That set is gone afterwards, so definitely finish that stuff up. And last but not least,
Origin Access.
Origin Access. If you're
Premier.
on PC, Origin Access Premier.
And EA Access.
I need
Yeah.
I need a heads up on when the camera's coming back. I don't need to be in this like weird
we need to talk.
like.
We need
man.
we need to talk off.
Would Gibbs have done that? Would Gibbs have given us the heads up?
He falls asleep about the stream goes longer than 33 minutes, he falls asleep.
Someone's got a lot of energy
33 is the
today.
number.
Yeah, that's why we only do 30 minutes a
How
day.
many? Yeah, like we got.
Buy yourself a couple minutes just
Yeah.
to be sure. I got it.
there you go.
That makes sense.
Awesome. Well, thank you
No,
guys
thank
for tuning
you.
in.
Thank you guys. Thank you
Yeah.
guys. Thanks everybody in the chat. Appreciate it. Looking forward to another great year. Thank you so much.
Great. Take care, guys.